Connor Martin.
Cedric Curtin.
Alright. So, I see you got a nice Planet freshwater tank. Would
Yeah.
you say that tank is high tech or low tech?
Actually, man, it's pretty low. I don't have all of the things that a lot of folks do in the Planet tanks. My lighting now is pretty high tech. I've got over the amount of lighting, but as far as like things to make it grow, I don't have all of the mechanical things that people use for it. So it's not bad though.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that. It's pretty, like, very densely planted. I would have never known.
Yeah.
It's interesting, the lights. What can you do with the lights?
So with the lights, I have a remote here, and if I had off my main lights, you could actually make things like thunder and lightning. You'll see it flash. You can have dusk to dawn, even nighttime. It'll be all blue. It's different color elements that'll also go with it, which of course, because I have the white lights on, it kind of overpowers it. But it's a lot of little neat things with this, man. It's a fluval. And so it's pretty cool, man. It does a whole lot of different things to it. So
That's pretty
neat.
interesting. So, we've been in lockdown for 2 months now.
Yeah.
And have you had any, like, stresses with trying to deal with, like, being stuck at home, but trying to get supplies for the tank, like water?
It has, yeah, man. It actually has been rough. One of the cool things for me is I have an RO unit, so I make my own water for my freshwater unit or freshwater tank. So that part is not that bad, but with this shutdown, it has really been difficult because all the fish stores have been closed. My main fish store just went out of business, and so because of this, and so I mean, that's been really kind of a bummish type thing, man. I've been dealing with him for at least 18, 20 years now. And so so now, with that being said, a lot of things that I would have purchased from him, I would have to go all the way to Columbia for. So it has been stressful. I think one of the better things for me is that I keep supplies. So as far as having things like food and things like that, I always have. But then I also have a saltwater tank. And that's the hard part of keeping like salt and things of that sort. So it's been difficult, man. But it's also given me a time to plan my tank a little bit more and do the maintenance. So it's been pretty cool for that.
Yeah, so I see a lot of different colorful fish and some cool red plants. I haven't seen any of those. What do you have in there?
So in the tank, you'll see I have some cardinals, neon tetras. I'm sorry, they're the red and blue ones. I have several different types of rainbow fish. A lot of the smaller fish, they come out of Australia. There are a lot of there's some in there called red eye or blue eye. I'm sorry, blue eye. They're the reddish color ones. I have a couple of Gertrudes. I also have a couple of high fins. I have several different guppies. Matter of fact, if you look closely in the blue net, I have a female in there right now that's getting ready to actually have babies soon. If you look in the moss, you'll see I have like shrimp. So there's a black shrimp that's hanging out in the moss in the middle of the tank. I have some black ones in there. I have blue ones. We have catfish in there. We have koi loaches and some plecos, which take care of the algae. We have also some snails. So it's pretty crowded, man. But it's pretty cool. Everything in there is alive. Plant-wise, we have what we call a tiger lotus. It's a type of lily plant. It's going to be the red one. That's right here, the large leaf. At the bottom, those leaves will actually come up top sooner or later when they start growing. Your taller plant is one of what we call a sword plant, swordtail plant. If you look up, it's actually growing out of the water, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of hanging out of the water. We have several different swordtails in there. There's one up front, the long leaf green is one. And then of course the moss in there, that's in there, the java moss, the shrimp like hanging out in there, it gives them a security of like safety in there, so they'll hang out in there. You can't see it, but there's a driftwood actually that moss is covered on. So several different types, man. But a lot of them school, so they all kind of hang together in their little own schooling mix. So it's pretty cool.
That's really interesting. So the whole tank's just alive, everything in there. All the
Everything.
leaves, plants.
Yes.
It's really cool. Makes me want to set one of those up.
Hey man, it's not that bad. The soil I did was potting soil. I used organic, all-purpose potting soil. I used black sand in it, and as well as another type of mixture of plant fertilizer for the aquarium. And so that's another cool thing with it. Those things will keep all of the fertilizing going, and that's what made the tank really grow the way it's growing with everything that's in there. It's really just keeping your water changes, keeping your numbers right, and everything else, man. I've not had too many deaths in that tank so far, so it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you make your own substrate.
Yeah. So that is different levels. The sand kind of holds everything. Of course, the potting soil has all of the nutrients that the plants need. So yeah, I mean, it was really cool to learn how to do that with the different levels. So I mean, it's just like you planting a flower in a flower pot, only in water.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the garden.
It is. It really is. There are times I have to actually go in there and cut stuff and trim stuff. And there's several plants in there. There's 2 bunches because I started out with one, and they got so big that I just cut them, and they'll actually re-root. So it's pretty cool. That's another cool thing about it, man. Is like a lot of these things will just root up. I mean, you know, you can cut them and start a whole nother bunch. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, you just multiply them.
Yeah.
So I think that should do it.
Well, thanks, man. I'm glad you came by to check out the tank.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I didn't even know you had this.
Yeah,
I can always see that blue light from
That's
the
that's the salt water, yeah.
I'm always like thinking, I'm like, man, let's get my tank a little bit
That's
there.
right, man. Hey, anytime, come get me, man. We'll make it happen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not that hard, so once you got it, you got it.
Yeah, sometimes it looks pretty daunting. You're like, man,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I said it too. This is actually my first planted tank. And so I'm thinking about actually converting my salt water into fresh and starting a whole nother one. I don't know yet, so we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty cool.
All right, man. Well, thank you.
Yep. You
Appreciate
too.
you. All right.
I appreciate it.